Save us.
All right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to receive this award as a woman who served her country during the Vietnam era. I took my chances on enlistment at that time, knowing the possibility of being called to duty in an active war zone would always be there. But what I did not know at the time, because I was young and uninformed, was that I, like many other Black enlisted men and women, would be subjected to blatant, systemic racism from our own government. It was the government versus us. It was the government versus the Black enlisted people. As an enlisted person, I thought and expected I would be treated fairly. And the first thing I see upon arrival is segregated barracks. Immediately, I noticed all the white girls on the right side of the building, all the Black girls on the left. And still, I didn't let that faze me. It was the first time I'd been away from home. I was exposed to meeting many people from diverse backgrounds and culture. I loved it, and I made many friends, many acquaintances. But it didn't take me long to realize that not only were the room assignments based on race, but also duties were assigned by race. And only the Black girls were assigned the latrine duties for the entire building. Again, I did not let that faze me until I realized the white girls would intentionally leave nasty messes for us to clean up. So rather than complain, I decided, how do I zig and zag around this? How do I make this work? So when I found the segregated duties unbearable, I posted a notice offering to pay someone to do my latrine duties. And things went well until the drill sergeant found out the person I paid was a white girl. All of a sudden, all heck broke loose. Before I knew what was happening, I was summoned before a 3-member panel so that they could determine what my punishment would be. I couldn't believe it then, can't believe it now, but I believe it. The latrines were clean, no complaint about that. They were complaining about it was a white girl that performed the chore. So yes, I served. I was proud to do my duty. But that was another time, generation, and now seemingly a million years ago. Yet today, our struggle remains the same. For equality, it still continues. Now this afternoon, I'm here before you to celebrate veterans, our men and women in the armed forces who dedicate themselves to uphold not only our freedoms, but those of people around the world. Yet, when those same veterans return to us, they are often the last on the list for services in place. Their needs are not met, their self-worth denied, and we, who have seen so much, who have fought the battle for equality, who still strive to raise much, to do as much as you can, and you get very little in return, yet we're still striving to gain. So I'm saying today, as a veteran and practicing attorney on Maryland's Eastern Shore, I see Black people still being subjected to the same systemic racism I experienced in the military in our horribly unhealthy criminal justice system, especially in matters of police brutality. There is no justice for Black people when the police lobby is one of the largest campaign donors for our sitting judges and state's attorneys. There is no justice for Black people when police participation taints what should be an independent evaluation by the medical examiner's office by giving their narrative to influence an autopsy report of the deceased. There is no justice for Black people until we, Black people, invoke the procedures and structures that the United States Constitution provides to us to protect us against this pattern of systemic racism. And you know why? Because can't nobody save us but us. Now, what would Thurgood Marshall do? He would speak the truth, and then he would demand action be taken. And it is then in the spirit of Thurgood Marshall, the 96th Justice of the Supreme Court, the mighty legal arm of the NAACP, that I call on all of you before me today to exercise your constitutional rights and help rid our community of police brutality and systemic racism within the criminal justice system by demanding that our Governor Hogan address the disparity in treatment of Black people in the criminal justice system. Black people are not getting a fair shake, and it's mostly because we're being represented by those who have a deliberate indifference to our humanity, to our pain, and to our struggle. But together we must demand that the next 5 judges that the Governor Hogan appoints to the Circuit and District Court on Maryland's Eastern Shore be Black, as a first step to reduce the disparity in treatment of Black people. And if our demand is not met, if he can't see the injustice to our people, then we all have a duty to advise everyone we know who's going to court on a criminal offense to pray a jury trial and publicly demand a jury of our peers, which I have not seen yet. And what I mean by that is, if Black people are 17% of the community, then we expect to be at least 17% on the jury, because can't nobody save us. All right.